It's pretty easy to see why children love coming to Camp JoyEl.
I like the pool and the water slide on a very hot day.
It's really fun. I really enjoy it.
The first year I came, I had Clay, the counselor. He was really fun, and I had the water slide.
I've met a lot of people, and I really like it here.
The fun these campers are having shows up on the outside through the smiles on their faces. But there's also something going on inside. While they're here, they are also learning a lot about God and what it means to be a Christian.
We all want kids to have fun, but we want that kid to leave here, saying, wow, I just found out about, these awesome things about God and how, awesome He is.
We are trying to make sure that every kid here has a relationship with Christ, and that if they already do have a relationship with Him, that we try to teach them how to grow in that relationship, like how to do personal devotions and things like that.
Camp JoyEl is one of the primary ways JoyEl Ministries reaches young people for Jesus Christ, which is what this ministry is all about. For the first 70 years of this ministry, the main focus had been on teaching religious education in the public schools, a ministry that continues to this day in over 26 school districts across south-central Pennsylvania, now called Release Time, during which students are allowed to travel to an off-school location once a week for religious education.
I just totally believe in that. I think that Release Time is just an absolutely phenomenal opportunity. In the state of Pennsylvania, at least, we are allowed to take kids out of public school for an hour a week. And I'm finding, I've done this for 17 years, and I have found that in that period of time it has switched from largely a churched population to predominantly an unchurched population of children.
As JoyEl volunteers work with children in the schools, they invite them to come to Camp JoyEl during the summer to have fun and learn more about God and the message of salvation through Jesus Christ.
It brings joy to my heart when I hear how many children come to the Lord through the work that we're doing, through the work that the Lord does through us.
Last year we had several hundred kids who made a commitment to Christ during their time at the camp. So when you add that to the number of children who made such a commitment during the school year at the release times, I think we were over 500 students last year who made a commitment. That's the focus, yeah.
Through the years, a week spent at Camp JoyEl has become more and more important in that effort to reach young people for Jesus Christ and then teach them basic discipleship principles.
The Release Time program is great because we introduce the gospel to people, and these young kids get a chance to receive salvation. But I think where the rubber really meets the road is summer camp and leadership program, where the kids, that faith is just really developed and deepened, and they're discipled and mentored.
It's all about learning how to build your faith and who to put your faith in and what to put your faith in.
We learn about how faith is and everything, and we learn a lot about God. You couldn't just come here and not learn anything about God.
I see what God does in a camp setting. Young people come to know the Lord as a result of concentrated effort in ministry of the Word, in fellowships that are found here. The kids come from different areas and they find out, man, I'm not all alone in the Lord's work. Although the program at Camp JoyEl has grown over the years, as has the number of children attending camp, the facilities have essentially not grown, at least over the last 30 years. But in 2005, the Board of JoyEl Ministries asked a consultant to assess the needs of the camp.
They were here during a camp session to see the flow of campers and to determine, what could we possibly use, what do we need.
What we needed, the report concluded, is a separate location for a chapel, set apart from the rest of the camp.
Right now, we have a chapel that kind of works, but it's really an extension of our dining hall. There's a real thin wood door that closes it down, and oftentimes while we're getting ready for lunch as a chapel session's going on, we're setting up for supper, or we've just cleaned up from supper, and you go into chapel, and it's not a set-apart place.
It's just a real value in having that place set apart where we worship God here and to just kind of have a holy ground kind of atmosphere.
There's no such thing as a chapel. There's no place where you can go aside and say, we're going to have our worship time it's the place where you had lunch earlier. And with so many campers coming in, it's hard to even make that distinction anymore because everything's crowding everything else out.
So JoyEl Ministries is embarking on a capital campaign called Catch the Vision, Build the Future, to raise funds to establish not only a separate set-apart chapel location, but also an additional recreational option called a splash ground.
We want to provide new things for kids. We want to provide opportunities for them to be able to enjoy what's going on here. And quite honestly, during the summer when it's hot, we've got so many kids that can't all be in the pool at the same time, so if we could provide another water activity. And boy, this summer, as we've kind of put the concept in front of them, as we said, here's what we're looking to do. You know, every time that photo came up of what the splash ground would look like, the kids' eyes, and then they're, oh, you could hear the audible oohs and ahs about it.
The goal of the campaign is to provide an opportunity for people to partner with what God is doing through JoyEl Ministries.
When you're giving to this capital campaign, you're not just giving to build a building. You know, you're giving to build the future. You're giving to build a facility that's hopefully going to reap rewards in many more children coming to the Lord here at JoyEl Ministries.
Young parents are looking around for places to involve their kids. They're looking at the quality of facilities along with a lot of other things. So we want to be sure that the quality of our facilities are first class, that they see signs that we're a growing organization and we've been growing in numbers, and now it's time to grow with our facilities.
Sometimes we need to use these tools to help bring kids who wouldn't otherwise come to JoyEl. It's a fun thing to do, and this is why they'd come. You know, right now one of our biggest tools that helps draw kids is the go-karts. They love to drive the go-karts. And this would be one of the things that they would come and do, and we'll be able to use as a tool to help share the gospel with these students.
The ultimate goal is changed lives, commitments made to Jesus Christ, more people understanding what it means to follow Jesus. The staff and leadership of Camp JoyEl have been dreaming and praying for a separate worship center for many years, as they struggled with the limitations of sharing worship space with the dining room. Another dream has been to find new ways to draw in more campers, including those who do not yet have a relationship with Jesus Christ. The success of this effort requires the commitment of all who support and are touched by JoyEl Ministries.
It just continues to overwhelm me. The past 12 months, they've brought over 400 kids to the Lord. That's a great mission, that's great leadership, and that's great results. I want to be a part of that.
We build relationships with these kids, and through those relationships we show them the love of Jesus Christ, and we bring them to the Lord, and it might be an opportunity that they have absolutely nowhere else.
This will have a building that can be utilized not only during the camp time, but retreats and things like that. I know that the folks from our church have come up here for a women's retreat, for instance, and boy, they come back inspired and full of zeal and ready to serve the Lord. And that's the value of investing in something that has eternal value. We can invest a lot of money in things that when we die, they're gone. But investing in something like this has lasting value, and that's important. There is joy visible in the faces of young people who experience what Camp JoyEl has to offer now, and joy in the hearts of those who discover a newness in Jesus Christ, a joy that they might otherwise have missed were it not for the work of JoyEl Ministries. It's a ministry that we now invite you to join.